Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Bright Ideas podcast. As always, I am your host, Trent Deersmid, and I'm here to help you figure out how to rock it in your business. And the way that I do that is I bring on other super successful entrepreneurs to share with us how they're rocking it in their business, so you can ideally take some good notes, pick up some golden nuggets, and implement those suckers in your business the moment you finish listening to this podcast. So let's get into it. Darwin, welcome to the show. Who are you and what do you do?
Trent, thank you very much for having me on the show. I'm very excited. Who am I? So I am Darwin. I run an e-commerce focused digital marketing agency. So our agency has been live for a little bit over 2 years now, I would say. I personally have been doing digital marketing for maybe 14 to 16 years personally. X-Agency itself, though, we focus on AdWords, Facebook, email, SEO, affiliate marketing, anything to the gamut called digital marketing for any company that sells a product online. So whether it's, and it has to be a shippable good. It's not a virtual download. It's not anything of that nature. We specialize in helping people sell physical products into people's homes. So we're focused on B2C e-com for mid to price level companies. So what does that mean? Companies that do anywhere, at the minimum $3 to $5 million a year to 150 million a year. Yep. So that's us in a nutshell.
Okay. How much revenue did you do in your first year?
First year was a half year, just to let you know really quickly. I left my company personally making somewhere, I think 300 to 400 grand a year because of my salary and my own clients. But within the first half year, I think we were at 680,000 in revenue.
Okay. And how about the second year?
Right now, so we haven't finished our numbers yet, but we're somewhere around
2.2 million?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're growing like mad.
Yeah.
All right. How do you attract all those clients?
So, as I've always read and have heard from the gurus and seen over and over and over again, sales is the only thing that ever really matters, or sales is the lifeblood of any company. So how do we do it? It's sales, right? It's our channels of sales. It's our reputation. It's what we focus on. It's our marketing. So.
Okay. So you told me before it came down to predominantly two things: partnerships and outreach.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you're sending thousands of emails per week, every week, week after week, right?
Yep.
All right. Let's dive, because some people are going to listen to that and they're going to think, how the hell is he doing it? So let's unpack your cold email outreach program. First of all, let's start at the beginning. How do you develop your list of people that you're going to, let's say for next week, you want to send how many emails next week? 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, how many?
So right now we've actually taken a pause, but usually it's about, say, 3,000 emails.
3,000. Okay.
Yeah,
and
we pause
only because you've got so much clients coming on, you're kind of drowning. So 3,000 emails. All right. I need 3,000 email addresses. Where am I going to get them from?
Yeah. So for us, there are actually many ways that many people can get email addresses, right? For us, we use multiple sources. We actually have outsourcers who scrape email addresses for us. The data miners, you can get them from Upwork. We actually have a personal one that we got recommended to. They're cheap. They're not that expensive. I mean, I think we pay anywhere from $500 to $1,500 per list. But it's the bang for your buck. They're all updated. They are exactly who you want in your specific niche. For us, it was C-level execs in the e-commerce field, in companies doing $1 to $30 million in revenue. So you pay for these. There are other places you can do it. If you don't have the money for this, at the end of the day, go on LinkedIn. We have Sales Navigator. We have automated lists based on titles that we actually have going every
We'll get into that. Don't dive into LinkedIn just yet. So you said you pay about $500. Is that per week or per month?
That's basically per month. And
okay, so for $500 a month, I'm going to get 12,000 emails.
It's 500 to 1,500, but yes, it's actually very, very cheap. And if you find the right person to data mine, it doesn't cost them a single thing because they use the same tools. It's right. Not that they have to use more manpower. It's really just them putting your stuff in. you know.
Okay, so they're going to ask you for criteria of industries and job title and whatever. Then they're going to come back to you with this list.
Yep.
How do you verify before you start? Because you've got to consider sender reputation. So first of all, what address are you sending from? Is it your primary domain, or are you using a whole portfolio of @Gmail accounts or some other domain to protect send score? And how do you verify that your bounce rate is not going to be too high?
You know, it's great that you brought that up, because when we first started doing that, Trent, we never even thought like that. That wasn't something that we actually thought about. So guess what? We did get blacklisted, right? When you actually do something like that. And again, I've always heard stories about it. I didn't really think that it could happen that way, but we did. Previously, it was always one email based on the ex-agency email to send things out. That's not the right way, but that's the way you should be doing it. The other option that we took, which is also not the right way, was we used a different email address, my name, in the same domain. That actually also does not work. What you need to do is you have to use a multitude of SendGrid domains and use SendGrid to actually send it. So you actually protect your main domain so that you actually do not get blacklisted. Trying to get out of it for our main domain right now is still a task in process. So just to reiterate what I just said, which is use SendGrid, use different domains, and don't do it from your own domain. As long as it's a variation of it, sending it out, it works.
Okay, so these other domains are very, very similar. They might have a different, like a .org or a .net or a .biz. And I'm assuming you're also putting redirects in all these domains. So if somebody happens to just type one of these things in, it's going to take them to your website, correct?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
How many different alternate sending domains do you use?
Yep. So there's actually two ways of sort of doing that. We use two. However, the way that you can actually do it even better is it would be a subdomain part of your domain. So it would be xyz.xagency.com, you know. But usually, if you've ever seen the big sender list, it's you can put numbers, you can put whatever you want, but it's just a subdomain of a domain.
Okay, so if I'm sending from 1.mycompany.com and 2.mycompany.com and 3.mycompany.com, I am not, and I get a whole bunch of spam complaints, I'm not hurting my domain reputation.
Yeah, again, the way that we've actually done it through that way is we don't get bounces for the most part. That's one. Two is that's also how the big companies are doing it. That's how a lot of our clients are actually doing it too. But yeah, and everything that we've done and we've read online is even for, say, our marketing side of things, a subdomain is different than a real domain. Even quality scores on that side, I don't know why they do it that way, but yes.
Okay. So email verification, are you using Never Bounce or some other service?
We use Never Bounce, we use MX Tools as well, so.
Okay, and what are you paying per email? Like a 10% or something like that, or not even that?
Sorry, could you repeat that? I missed it.
How much are you paying per email to verify that they work?
It's about 10 cents. So
10 cents per email?
Yeah.
Wait a minute, you're sending 3,000 emails a week. So that's going to be what, $300? Am I doing that math right in my head?
10,000 emails per week.
Yeah.
Just so when you say verify, what do you mean? We actually verify before we send it.
Yeah. Well, you said you're using Never Bounce and or MX Tools because you need to verify that the email is a legit email address. So you're paying 10 cents to use those tools?
No. Okay. So actually, let me explain. The emails that we actually get from our list, they verify for us. We've actually, again, these aren't just outsourcers that we get from, say, Fiverr.com. We've done a lot of those. These are updated verified lists from our outsourcer. So it's not like we get it from them or we scrape these lists and we don't trust it. We have a verified supplier.
Got it.
And these do work, you know, like in the beginning, yes, you know, we did try, and at the end, they didn't do anything for us in the sense that we still got flagged. But right now, everything that goes out from this list, they're updated, they work, and they're not, you know, they're real. So
okay, and so you don't need to use Never Bounce or
no. But I know I think some of the sales people, they still have it. I don't think we really need it anymore.
Okay, and in the 3,000 send, will you send them from 2 different subdomains and 1 email address per subdomain, or will you send it from multiple email addresses per subdomain?
Yep. So, and again, so I would say 80% of what we did prior to these subdomains was always the mess up, which was one email address, one domain. Obviously, that didn't work, right? Right now, we actually use multiple emails per subdomain, but all a variation of Darwin Liu as the CEO. But yep, right now that is what we're doing. At the end of the day, for us, we don't care too much in the sense that the subdomains can get refreshed. It can get, we can use a new one. We can do something else. So,
yeah, because you're going to have as many different subdomains as you can think of: mail 1, mail 2, mail 3, mail 4, mail 5, whatever. So what's the call to action in the email? Is it click my calendar link and book an appointment, or is it reply? Because if you're doing that volume of outbound, you're going to get lots of replies, and I'm wondering how you're dealing with that.
Yeah. We've tested a bunch of things, right? So a few things. We have a Calendly link on every single one. If you guys know what that is, just the auto schedule. Put that in onto your signatures. Now, we've tested different ones. We have a sort of automated system for how we want to reach out to our clientele. We've always been under the impression that the more info you give, nice, short, and concise, the better the email sounds like. So in a lot of our reach out emails, we have basically our steps for how we want to reach out to them. The first email usually always is, hey, we noticed that you are running XYZ marketing, but you are missing XYZ. So, and those variables are all pasted in based on a search that we have done in Crawl, based on what they're running, right? So
looking for companies that are running like Active Campaign or some app, because you can see from their websites what they're running. Right. There's always scripts there.
Yep.
You are building your list saying, okay, so insert name of app here. We see that you're running Active Campaign, and we see that you're not doing what are you filling?
Yep. And so it'll be on a spreadsheet where it will be like company name, and then it'll say running this, check off, running that, check off, but not XYZ. And then that gets dumped into our tool that pulls the variables in, and then it just goes up. That's the first one, but there's obviously 4 follow-ups. Again, what I would say is we normally do short, we normally do personalized. However, for some reason, I personally got my eye caught by longer type emails. I really don't know why. The short emails aren't the best way to go. I wouldn't know. It's worked for us, but are there better formats? I think there might be.
Well, there's no perfect format. You have to test. You have to test.
Exactly.
All right. So what tool are you using? So you mentioned SendGrid, but SendGrid is just a delivery system. It's not, you're not composing emails and inserting variables in SendGrid. So what app are you using to actually craft the email message and insert all the variables?
Yep. So we've tested a bunch. I think right now we've sort of settled a little bit on Outreach.io. They are $2,000-ish a year. I think they're cheap. They're not that much. So that gives you 1 seat, I believe. You might have to pay more if you have multiple people on a Outreach.io tool, but that helps you dump anything in. That helps you do the auto schedule. That you can actually connect that with HubSpot. So it works out for us in Gmail. I don't know if it works with Outlook, but
okay. All right. So you build a spreadsheet like a Google Sheet. You get Outreach, and you say, hey, Outreach, talk to this Google Sheet, because all the data you need for all the variables, the names and emails and everything is in a row, right?
Almost. It's actually a little bit more manual than that. We have this Google Sheet. Outreach can't pull from the sheet. There might be a way, but it's not straight direct. We actually get Outreach. We get the sheet. We actually dump it into Outreach manually. So we have our own specific custom fields and columns in Outreach.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a manual dump. It's not an automated.
Yeah, but you're dumping in 3,000 email addresses or whatever at one time. So whether it's 10 email addresses or 5,000, the labor is not really any different because you're
exactly. Yep, it's the same. Ideally, at the end of the day, I would say, if you have systems and processes for everything, and if you can automate everything, great. That's where you want to go. But we're missing that piece. So.
Okay. We can talk a little bit about that. I got some stuff that I do that's kind of ninja. All right. So we've got the lists. We've got a bunch of messages queued up. I think you said 5 in total. So they're going to keep getting another one unless I would imagine if they reply what stops the sequence of emails? Do they have, is it scheduling a call, or is it a reply, or how do you, because you don't want to keep sending emails to someone who's already positively responded.
It's actually a reply. Any response basically stops the sequence of flows. And it could be any response. I mean,
That's pretty standard. They can be go F yourself and that'll
oh,
stop
it. We've got a bunch of those, man. It's more like borderline harassment. Go F yourself. Go to hell. You know, stop
Yeah.
harassing me, you know. And yeah, anything stops it. And you know, I'm in there every day, and you could, you know, when I was in it, and you can see it, and literally you'll respond to it, right? And if you do manually stop it, we do automatically throw people back in based on time, right? Based on, say,
Why not?
yeah, exactly.
3 months later, start hitting them again.
Exactly.
These people who are sending you the F off, they're the same people who are running retargeting campaigns that are following their prospects all over the internet trying to get them to buy a pair of shoes. So I got no guilt. And I mean, that's just business today. If you don't like it, don't be in business.
Exactly. That is how we're working towards, you know, like if we're automating everything, like, I mean, we're going to get it. I get spam all the time. I'm just like, I don't care. Just going to push it out.
Yeah. Yeah, big deal. Wow. All right. So you are sending all these emails out. They've got links in them. You've got messages. You're saying, "Hey, we're great." Give me an overview of what you're saying in the. They're all short. You've got 4 or 5 messages. Kind of like, what's the gist of it? I don't need the
I was
words.
going to go find it, but the gist of it is actually easy. I think any sort of standard email template is you want a signature in there first. I mean, at least I have my face and stuff in there. You want to look nice for the most part.
Yeah.
I have a signature, I have my Candy link. So make sure you have the scheduler and how they can contact you, and make sure that you look real. I think a lot of people get fake messages now from, say, India or anything. You just don't look reputable, you know?
Yeah.
Anything you can put in there that makes you, any awards, Inc. 5000, whatever it is, in the bottom, that'd be amazing. First one has, and we've tried long and short. The first email is usually we try to hit them right on the spot without wasting too much of their time. I will literally say something along the lines of, hey, we noticed that you are running XY, you are running, and I'm going to use this, you're running Google AdWords, you're running remarketing, but you are missing dynamic remarketing. And usually that is a 6x ROAS. So you're losing.
Let me interrupt you there. I know how you know they're using Google ads or whatever, because you can see a script on their site, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
How do you know they're not using the dynamic whatever? Same thing?
Oh, same thing. We use Google Tag Assistant. We use the Bing UAT checker. We use the Facebook Pixel Hopper, but it tells you exactly. So if they were running products, it shows you on the Tag Assistant itself. And that's all we do. We just pull it based on what they're running. And all the info we have is on the helper.
And so what tool, because you've got your scraper who's gone out and found 3,000 companies. You're not looking at 3,000 websites manually, because that wouldn't work. So How are you figuring out, because you've got this spreadsheet with these columns, using this, not using this, not using, how do you populate all the data in that spreadsheet across 3,000 websites?
So it's a browser macro. I don't know how to program these, but again, I've always found that there's a lot of smart people online. You can pay someone to program exactly what steps you need into what you need. So it was always a check this, if this, pull here, if that, pull there. So.
Okay. So it's a browser macro. Where did you hire the guy to write that, or the gal, or whoever?
I am a frequent peruser of, there's many places you can go, but I like really blackhatworld.com. There's a lot of smart people there. So it's, again, blackhatworld.com.
Love it. Okay.
Yep. And I hang out there because people do think there, and you can hire almost anyone to program almost anything, whether it's Instagram bots, whether it's Facebook bots, whether it's, you can, bot this. Exactly. Okay. Or you can go to public channels. You can go to Fiverr. I'm sure they have someone there. Programming macros into this isn't hard language. It's just not something I do or I know.
Yeah, I don't write much code either.
Yeah.
Okay, so now that's how we figure out what content we're going to put in. That's how we're going to personalize them. You're going to send 4 or 5 emails at some point in time. So what percentage so if I send 3,000 emails, how many appointments am I going to get?
Okay, so I'm trying to remember back in the day when I was doing it. I don't have the numbers. So every week and I personally was getting about 100 emails back. Out of the 100 emails, what is that?
So you get 100 replies out of 3,000?
Yes, 100 replies. And then now in terms of real appointments, because not all the replies are, hey, let's chat.
And you're manually dealing with these replies.
These are now manual. These are actually now manual. And then out of those 100, I would say 60 of them are a no, right? So out of the 60, so 100 emails, 60 of them are a no. Out of those no's, 30 of them are usually a no, can you reach back out later, which is actually a no, but they're too afraid to say it. So, and then we dump those back in, okay? The other part are the people who will say F off. And usually those we are actually done with. When they say we're good, no, or when they say you're harassing me, we never put them back in. We're like with them. But part of that we do put back in. Now, out of the 40, yes, those are manual responses. I tailor those responses really, really well. When I do tailor those responses, I actually tailor it with a small little deck. And that, for the most part, has also been manual. We could have automated it, but for me, any cold response or any cold outreach that we've gotten a response out of, I think is huge, because not many people respond to emails. So for me, we would spend that time. I had an assistant who would help me. We had like a little small template for a deck, who would actually help me start pulling screenshots now. So whatever I sent in that first email, she will put them as a screenshot into this deck and say, hey, this is how it looks. Let's have a chat, So,
Yep.
And I mean, conversion rates, at least I always think I'm the best salesman. I mean, I don't really do it all the time now, but I think it was pretty good for what we were doing, especially since we were starting out and we didn't have too much history for built up in terms of rep and stuff. So, yeah.
Okay. So out of those 40 yeses, how many of those yeses are turning into an appointment?
I'd say out of those 40, I was getting about 5 to 10 appointments a day. That's not necessarily a week, 5 to 10 appointments a week.
Okay. So 5 to 10 appointments a week. And how many of those appointments are turning into clients?
It was like once a month. So if you can put that math in.
So you get one client out of 40 appointments in a month?
Yep.
Dude, that's a pretty low closing ratio. You must not be a very good salesman.
I thought I was. So let me explain this. This isn't a, and when I say yeses, I mean yeses for real clients. For us, I don't count smaller people or smaller companies as a real client, if that makes sense. I'm not selling to mom and pop shops who want something like this. I'm selling to real corporations that has,
yes can be a lot of money.
Exactly. And I'm looking for those yeses. I mean, every time we reach out, out of those responses, there are smaller companies that want something, but that yes doesn't matter. I really don't care too much about it. It's more like, how do we get a real corporation to say yes to you when they don't even know what the hell you do? So,
yeah. Okay. Yeah, because I mean, if it's a $20,000 a month account and you get one new account per month, you're scaling pretty well. All right. So anything about cold email that we haven't talked about?
Yep. Referrals. Getting referrals. During our process for finding companies and scraping and all that stuff, our scraper got a bunch of emails, and while we were looking for clients, I realized that out of the people we were contacting, a lot of those people were like, hey, why are you bugging me for? We do digital marketing as well. We do Amazon marketing. We do web dev. We do web design, stuff that we didn't do. And I was just like, wait a minute. And this has changed my thought process for all this, which was when we do reach out, you do want 2 different campaigns for these cold emails. One is to actually reach your referral market, because when you get companies that are also in your field doing different things, referring you, that is way better than a cold outreach, because it's a warm lead now. That's one, right? But 2 is the same time you're spending to get these solo clients is the same amount of time you're getting referrals, right? And if you actually had all the contacts to focus on referrals, that's a business right there. Yeah, 10 referrals, 20 referrals, 30 referral partners giving you clients. That's how you grow,
So you are emailing quasi competitors.
Yeah.
They have a different area of specialization than you do. So there's like a little overlap, but it's not a huge amount of overlap. And you are saying what?
basically, hey, do you want to be referral partners? We had this sort of, we had this much, trying to find that word. Our clients do this well. This client did this year. This client did that this year.
Yep.
And when we become a partner, you get two things. One, you look amazing. But two, we give a referral fee.
Yep. Okay. LinkedIn. How's that differ from this?
LinkedIn is just about, I would say, I'm trying to think. It's the same about the process. What I think about LinkedIn is you can't get banned for spamming people, at least not from our end. We use an automate tool. We've never been banned. Um,
Which tool?
it's Hello Alfred. I keep trying to remember what it was because I don't use it anymore. Hello Alfred, nice and cheap. They had a bunch of tools out there. There's actually a bunch of companies right now that will automatically reach out to you on LinkedIn, selling you a LinkedIn service, who are literally just using Hello Alfred, which is somewhere around 50.
Hello Offer?
Sorry, Hello Alfred.
Alfred.
Yeah, Alfred.
Okay. And you are using it or you no longer are using it?
I personally am no longer using it. I just haven't touched it. We stopped sales right now, you know, so I still have it actually. But we've stopped using it.
You stopped using it because you're not doing LinkedIn outreach or
We've stopped all outreach for now, just for now.
just because you have too many clients and you're drowning? Okay. So bad problem to have, good problem to have. Okay. So Hello Alfred is this tool that allows you to automate your LinkedIn outreach. I'm assuming you probably have a Sales Navigator account.
Yep.
And then you're using the search criteria in Sales Navigator to build a list. On that list, there could be 30, 40,000 companies or people that match up to your criteria, right? And then take it from there. What happens?
Same thing, same as if you've ever used a automated email reach out program, Hello Alfred is just about the same. Same sequences, it will automatically put them in based on variables. So same exact sort of functioning and format. It's just about the same, with a cooler interface. Same, I would say it's email and LinkedIn, except that I don't think you can get banned. We've sort of hit limits before. For LinkedIn, the response rate for us was way higher, right? So for us, I think they were trying to sort of recommend, and Hello Alfred actually has all these recommendations in the tool itself, somewhere around 100 a day max. But I personally was doing 150, 200, and I never got any sort of warnings or bannings or whatever you want to think about it as. But yeah, it limits you basically. To sort of circumvent that, you can have multiple accounts, but your people has to have a good LinkedIn address, right? My LinkedIn profile there's a lot of things going on in it, so it looks kind of, it looks like I am someone reputable. So that's why for the most part I was using mine, and people were using mine. But for you, if you really want to up your LinkedIn game, you can have uh, multiple salespeople on their own LinkedIn reaching out with Hello Alfred,
So helloalfred.com is clearly not it. What's the website for this thing?
It should be, I have it right here. Give me 1 second. So, just had it. Give me 1 second. I'll get it for you. I'll get it from one of the sales. I'll get it from a CEO in a sec. Whenever she responds, I'll send it to you after the call.
All right, we'll make sure it's in the show notes. Okay.
Yeah.
Partnerships.
Yeah.
So was that the referrals that we already talked about, or is partnership something a little bit different?
No. Partnership is the referrals. I mean, we call them partnerships, but that is something that we really, or I truly focus on.
Okay, and let's finish up then talking about standard operating procedures. My favorite word in the whole universe, the whole galaxy. Get some SOPs and set yourself free. How are you using them?
Yeah. So, and let's just say this. Any company should have SOPs. They're rounded, hard, fast rules that any person coming in should be able to use. That's how a company runs, right? You let SOP run the company. That's how it should be. Right now, our SOPs basically are out the door. At the end of the day, we had SOPs for a company that would have been way smaller. That would have been 6 or 7 employees. It's just we're in chaos right now, and that's what
How many
happens.
employees do you have right now?
Huh?
How many employees do you have right now?
I don't even know the number right now. We just hired 3 people. We have 10, 9, I think if you were to add them all together, 19, 18, 19, something like that.
18, and they're all full-time?
Let's see, nope. 11, 60% full-time. They're all full-time, but not all of them are W-2s.
Okay. Where do you put your SOPs? Where does the content live?
Yep. So we have internal wiki now. It's we use Slide.com. And what happened with Slide.com is we integrated with Slack. So say if someone has a question on how to run marketing for one of our clients, they can either go in Slack and type in, say, Google AdWords, and it pops up, and they can go there and use it, right? Back in the day, we used to have it in Google Drive, and that was just sort of a mess. I mean, everything is still in there. People can link stuff into Google Drive, but everything sort of lives in Slide because it is
What? Slite?
Yeah, Slide.com.
I spell it because I just pulled that up, and that's not a website.
S-L-I-T.
Oh, S-L-I-T.
I-T-E. S-L-I-T-E. Yeah.
Okay, Slite. I spelled it with a G-H.
Sorry.
Your company's knowledge. All right, cool. Put that one in the show notes as well. So you've got your SOP content is living in Slite.com.
Yeah.
Okay. It really should be in Flowster. You'd be much better off.
Tell me what that is after. How do you spell it?
Flowster, like flow, like workflow.
Yep.
STER.app. And disclosure, that's my software company. So I'm obviously, a little biased, but I'll tell you this Inc. 5000 award that's over my shoulder right here.
Yeah.
Without our SOPs, there is no way in hell that we would have grown at 1,693% over 3 years without having an SOP for frickin' everything. And Flowster is where they all live. The beauty of Flowster is it's super easy to, first of all, we've got a marketplace full of them. We're creating more all the time. So creating SOPs from scratch sucks, right? So if you don't want to have to create it from scratch, you can go to the marketplace and you can look around and search. It's kind of like Amazon. You just there's filters and categories and keywords and all that stuff, and you can find some. And then if they're not exactly the way you want them, just edit them and make the changes that you want. But the real beauty of Flowster from my perspective, as a CEO, our job is to be working on the business, right? Going to conferences, reading books, listening to podcasts, doing podcast interviews, getting smarter. And then for me, when I learn a new thing, I just pull up one of my SOPs, I hit the edit button, I make whatever changes to integrate this new piece of knowledge that I've just acquired, and it's now pushed out to every single workflow, which is every single mini project that's based on that SOP is automatically updated. We call them a workflow. So everyone always has all the latest knowledge all the time in a very systematic format. And from a manager's perspective, of course, there's an interface. It's got a calendar. So you can be like, well, I want this person to be assigned to this task. It's on this due date. And this person's going to be assigned to this one and this due date. So the whole project management aspect of managing all of your workflows is built right into the tool.
I'm in there right now, dude. You have an amazing interface. I like it. I'm trying to go. I'll be the first to admit, we picked up Slide because it was cheap. I mean, it's not like we had all the money in the world. So, this looks amazing.
Cheap. It's only $15 per user per month, man. It's cheap.
Okay, that's basically how much we paid for Slide. Slide got us with the freemium. It was free in the beginning.
It's free in the beginning too.
Hey, well, I'm gonna test this out after this.
You know what I heard the other day? Someone I was talking to, he's like, "Yeah, dude, a couple months ago, I told this big law firm about your app, and now they love it." So there's this huge law firm in Texas that is now like a massive Flowster junkie, and I'm actually waiting to talk to the senior partner because we've never marketed to law firms before, but the app can be used for anything. It doesn't matter what industry you're in. So I'm
and then
to find out.
App. It has an iPhone app and everything integrated.
No, there's no app for your phone yet. There probably will be at some point, but what we have found is that most times, I mean, SOPs there's a lot of detail in them, and you're usually working at a computer when you're using the SOP because the SOP is instructing you on how to do keyword research or set up a Facebook campaign or build a landing page. Well, who the hell's doing that on their phone?
I know.
No.
Funny thing is, and a slight app got me, and I was just like, why, how, why, what?
Yeah.
Just like, yeah, no, I get it. I was just, no, you're right. And this poster does actually look very cool, and if it makes it, because Slite was meant as sort of an internal wiki, right? And if this
Yeah.
structurizes things a little bit more, this could be amazing for many other things.
When we're done, so we don't turn this podcast into a commercial for Flowster, I'll do some screen sharing and stuff with you and show it to you.
That'd be cool. Yeah.
All right. So in case we have any e-commerce folks in my audience who want to maybe do business with you, what's the URL?
Yep. So you guys can all visit xagency.com. We actually keep in mind that website I made when I first started out. We have a new website waiting on deck. You can email me at darwin@xagency.com. But yeah, amazing show. I mean, thank you for having me in front of your guests, and I've actually learned a lot from you personally on this. So I'm definitely gonna check out Flowster, and whoever's listening, check it out too, because it looks good. Just me looking at it right now. So
Cool. Well, thanks for being on the show.
no problem, man.